What's up, YouTubers? Welcome to the LonelyFans podcast presents. This week, we're going to go over our top 5 worst movies of geekdom. We're going to have our list from Albie, Broja, and then, of course, myself, Pack Photos. So we're going to get it kick-started with Albie's list first. And Albie's top 5. Starting at number 5, Albie, you chose... The Justice League, actually.
That's a good way of that's probably a better way of putting it. So before I get my top 5, I think there's a theme to my list. I think my theme to the list, and I really thought about what a fun guy here said. They really had no excuse. So that's pretty much my list. The producers really had no excuse. So I don't want to go too deep into this because I feel like we talked about this at our very first podcast in the Snyder Cut. But the reason why I put that as like one of my top worst movies of geekdom is not only because it was just godright awful, but it's probably one of the biggest examples of studio execs interfering with the creative process and not knowing their target audience and not knowing about the subject, the content that they're dealing with. And we saw that, and I think the Snyder Cut proved just how horrible the Whedon Cut was, with a bad shift in tone, a lack of focus on each of the characters, not understanding what made those characters their worth, and also instead of making something their own, trying to copy a formula that was the most popular at that time, which was the Avengers MCU formula.
Right.
So, yeah.
And bad editing. Just production work.
Bad editing, horrible, lackluster action sequences, weird filters.
You like this, man. I got a notification because on social media, it's 2 years ago today this happened. I swear to God, dude, I got a notification on Snapchat. 3 years ago today, you took a picture of this, and it was at Second and Charles. They had this movie on Blu-ray, HD, whatever, 4K, and it was for $43. I took a picture because I'm who the fuck's gonna buy this?
Look at my face.
$45 for Justice League. Come on, man.
Nauseous League. That's another term I would like to use.
It's the best example of how horrible the stitching and editing was in this movie. You can definitely tell which parts were written by Whedon and which ones was the original intended.
Also, what's up with the team not being able to cover up a beard? What?
Oh, I want to talk about bad special effects too and everything, but that wasn't even the thing that annoyed me the most. It was just more that unnecessarily introduction where it was a Snapchat view of Superman. And I remember rolling my eyes immediately, oh, look, it's they live in this world because Snapchat. And, this is already horrible. And I remember not being impressed a single moment in the theater. I remember just going
yeah. I'm with you, Albie. I was sitting there wait a minute, this movie shouldn't have come out, and then just proving my point.
I'm so glad I only paid $5 to see this movie.
Oh, that's right, we went together.
Yeah, we went together because a friend of ours had a movie club or something. Rest in peace. And yeah, so
was it
cheated the system to see a horrible movie?
What was it? It was I joined it late, but I know you're talking about the red card. It was a movie.
Yeah, there was a couple of those where you pay a monthly fee and then you're supposed to see unlimited movies, but then they started to catch on, going oh no, we can't let them do this. Okay, you can't see new releases, but you can only see it once. We're bankrupt by this. That's
what happened. I remember because Endgame was them. I was using it, and when Endgame hit, or when Avengers Infinity War hit, I think
it was
we're losing. This isn't going to work.
That should be a future podcast. Would you rather inherit Movie Pass or Blockbuster?
Movie Pass. That's what it was
that.
Movie Pass.
I'd say Block. Well, that's a.
We'll move to we're getting better here or worse depending how you look at this numbering. So at number 4, that's enough of Justice League. We gave it way too much airtime. At number 4, we've got Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to do it.
This is kind of hard to put on because I remember like seeing as a kid. I didn't hate it, but maybe it was important to like look back into it. Like I said, my theme is no excuse. So how did Joel Schumacher go from Batman Forever, which wasn't a horrible Batman movie, but then goes to Batman and Robin, and he really, I guess he felt like, all right, he's out of Tim Burton's shadow. He could go crazy with the set design that's not really Batman-like at all. Get George Clooney, who also isn't Batman-like at all. Get Arnold Schwarzenegger, which isn't very Mr. Freeze at all. Like, if you're trying to look for a genius scientist, also like torn everything, you pick, the guy that was in True Lies. That's your pick.
By the way, the bridge is out.
Yeah. I think he just picked him because he wanted to have his accent say all those corny lines.
I think he did. He loved one-liners, so Arnold's like the king, one of the kings of the Hollywood of one-liners in 85.
Maybe down the line, this won't be high in my list, but I thought I'd put it in because it is an example of, the creators not understanding what they're like, making, and, it did pretty much stop that Batman franchise, and we have to wait years and years, and then Christopher Nolan reboots it.
Yeah, Nolan's Batman universe was 3 movies done. I appreciated that. I mean, cut you off.
No, dude.
It's a good point to bring up.
Yeah, Batman and Robin, all I can tell you is Bat credit card and Bat nipples. And Bane's button on his back. Excerpt. I'm like, what?
Actually, Bane is important to bring up. So we'll compare Bane in Batman Around, where he's like a henchman, non-verbal henchman, and not even that big, And then we switched to Dark Knight Rises, and people didn't understand Tom Hardy, but at least he was more Bane. Maybe I was disappointed in the ending, but at least for the most part, he had a presence,
Yes. As a Bane fan, because I read Nightfall, I was like, oh, this is why this guy's great. That movie got close. They got him to the finish line, and then they just went backwards because they made him a henchman to Talia al Ghul. I was like, no, he doesn't need anybody. What's going on?
Stop doing that thing where Talia al Ghul is like sort of like caressing him or something. Like, what
didn't even make.
No, stop it.
It wasn't needed
right now.
Yeah, that twist wasn't. What's a twist? It wasn't needed. Shyamalan with it. Like, think about it. How did it help the film? Bane was not the one who climbed out. You used him to sell the trailers, and then, oh, by the way, he's somehow after with Talia al Ghul, and she's the one that climbed out of the pit. So that whole scene was new. They just forget it.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, what?
I would have to disagree with this being at number. No, I'm kidding. I never liked this film mainly because I didn't like, and I still don't like George Clooney, dude. I think Mr. Freeze is underrated. He should have won an Oscar when he said, "Let's kick some ice."
Chill.
Yeah, I think Uma Thurman works as Poison Ivy, but
he wasn't horrible. Yeah,
she had fun. I mean,
yeah.
I actually didn't. This was the first Batman movie. Like as a kid, I didn't watch it in theater. I got this off like some movie store, and when I watched it, remember the first opening sequence where they're fighting and they're just like this goofy jump, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It's like they were going for the original Batman TV series.
Oh, the Adam West stuff.
That's what it seems like we're doing.
It's kind of like that. It's like Schumacher is like within his George Lucas phase when he got into the prequels. He's like, let's do all this crazy stuff with it.
Let's just throw on these ideas with the back credit card and what?
It didn't work. So that's like my number.
I'm trying to remember what your number 3 is, and I'm noticing a trend of DC movies. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's right. Okay, no, I haven't.
Which one is this? The first or second?
The first one.
I have a huge disagreement with this one, but go ahead.
We'll talk about it.
This is probably also in the moment that I can think of, but maybe one has to do with first high expectations. I definitely did have high expectations for this movie. Like, oh wow, you got all these people. You got Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Jet Li, who else?
Mickey
Even
Rourke, no reason.
Harry Crews, Mickey Rourke, coming off of his role as wrestler, Then you kind of realize all those people didn't need to be in a movie together as you're watching this.
Because they're expendable.
That's the best part, man. Like,
they try to do too much of Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone bickering, but the chemistry just was not there. There wasn't even a whole lot of team ups. They kind of all did their own individual things, but it never really came together at the end. And I thought what was boring is that they were against some sort of dictator from some sort of it was Angel from Dexter. He played the dictator, and I'm like, really? This is our villain? This is biggest badasses of the 90s, and you're going up, I don't know, Fidel Castro 200 pounds over.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
So I was.
I'll go last on my opinion on this. We'll let Pax go first.
That's fine. So,
we'll just be okay. Do you want to continue, Albert? My bad.
The last thing I wanted to say was because of this, I couldn't really bother to watch the rest of this because there was a second one, a third one, which the third one looked even more ridiculous. Why do you need to bring in Kelsey Grammer? How does Frasier fit into this?
Hey, man.
I don't understand. And even I love Antonio Banderas, but I go why are you bringing him in? And he doesn't look like badass Antonio Banderas. He doesn't look like Antonio Banderas.
Dude, okay, so I'll say the second one was the best. The third was terrible because they took out the rated R.
Okay.
They put it to PG-13. It would appeal
I didn't
to
know that. I did not know that.
I heard about that. Yeah.
I was watching this the third one with my friend. Not to go off, I was watching the third one with my friend. I was like, "Where's the blood?" He's like, "This is rated PG-13." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "How do you have an Expendables movie that's PG-13?" But
it doesn't even. Yeah.
Yeah, I digress. No, the first and second one were good, Al, because you got Stone Cold Steve Austin, you have Dolph Lundgren, you got Eric. You don't even do a script, man. This was the end game before Endgame, dude. We had all these heroes mashed up.
Can I say one more thing? The one thing I thought was weird is that, when they're pretty much done fighting, they all go back to a motorcycle warehouse and they all ride Harley Davidsons. And I'm like, this is your off time, guys. And some of them look natural on Harley Davidson. Some of them, like Jet Li, I go yo, dude, you're not really rocking that, man.
You're not rocking that.
I'm sorry. So it's oh yeah, all right, we're done fighting. Now let's just roll around these Harleys. Yeah, we're badasses. Vroom, vroom. Sorry.
Here's what I think. I don't know if I read this or heard this in an interview or read this in something about the movie, but supposedly Stallone, as writer, director, or producer, wherever he did, and others, Stallone wanted this movie out to show the old dogs can still act, and the new action stars can still make this movie. I think that's what came out. Say, look, if we can still do it, y'all can still do it. These are the type of movies we want you to make. My problem is that Expendables didn't feel like it knew what it wanted to do with rated R. It should have either went all comedy or all super serious, but it was somewhere stuck in the middle and didn't pick its lane, in my opinion, well enough to establish the trilogy.
Both world.
Agree.
So Expendables 1, I said, okay. It's my favorite out of the other ones because it's trying to be serious, but not there. But it was serious enough. I think there's a new movie in my brain while watching it. That's my problem. I was like, okay, here's what it should have been.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining the movie while it's happening. Cut that out. If this was super serious with a one-liner, that would work. See how Predator is funny? Because I get the inside jokes we're doing on each other.
Yeah.
Jason Statham throwing stuff. Mickey Rourke is the old guy that threw stuff. You see the interaction with the life and real career of the actors in the films. Of course you can. Why they're brought in, the relation to Sylvester Stallone with the other movies. Arnold Schwarzenegger wanting to be president. That's a real life jab. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't pick its lane well enough for me to be an established franchise.
It was some weird shit because, like I said, they were bickering at times, and then there's a heavy action sequence.
It's like, wait, what? Is it a buddy cop movie? Is it a Tango and Cash?
Yeah. And sometimes it got over dramatic, like Mickey Rourke was crying in the scenes. I think I almost And then also Jet Li also was having, I don't know, midlife crisis or something.
Or money. He kept asking for more money because I get it. Like I should get more money because I'm shorter. I have these bills. He didn't say bills, but you've seen the first one.
Yeah. You know, one could argue you guys are making the case why this movie is amazing.
Maybe
it didn't work. Like, for other people, and I liked it. I'm telling you, this is my favorite out of the three. Three?
Yeah, there's three. Yeah,
okay, three. But I think I didn't watch the third one. I watched the first one, then I watched one with Wesley Snipes, and then the third one they played his ex-star Antonio Banderas. Right, that was the second one.
Yeah, he was in that.
The second one was
Van Damme was the main villain.
Yeah, dude.
Villain.
Yeah, he was. Look, so the fun fact about that, apparently, when this movie came out, Van Damme was like, I was supposed to be in it, but I needed a script. He's like, what do you mean? Stallone said, he said, because Stallone went to Van Damme, he said, what's my role? And Stallone said, don't worry, you're going to make a lot of money. And that was it. And Van Damme was like, I'm done. I'm not going to do this.
You're going to make a lot of money. So I guess they made the main villain. And
it's going to give him a lot of money.
And Scott Adkins was one of the best henchmen in there. He was not henchman. He was one of the right-hand men of one of the right-hand guys of Van Damme's character. And I was rooting for Scott Adkins more than I was rooting for anyone in the movie. I'm like, yes, they put him in. He's going to get more roles. It's going to be great. Scott Adkins. Most people are like, who's Scott Adkins? Like, there's movies. Just look them up. Google it. IMDb.
Just Google it.
Such a great movie. Now I can rewatch it there. I forgot about the motorcycles at the end where they're all just going off.
They all have like get up and everything. I'm like, you guys need to have a uniform or like you guys don't need to be a gang. You guys are just, mercenaries.
Mercenaries.
You guys don't need team uniforms.
We're not Power Rangers. We're not card-carrying gang members of 1950 or 60, 70s, 80s, 90s. You don't need it. You're right.
They looked like the bike rider gang in that Simpsons episode that was led by the Hell Satans. That was like led by John Goodman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I understood why they had the Expendables tattoo. I get it. I remember that.
It's fine. But
I think I like it because it's so bad, but I understand why this is on your list. The two things that stick out in this movie was, do you remember when when Stallone's running on the deck and his cheeks aren't jiggling because of so much Botox? It's so bad.
Oh.
That, and then when Terry Crews has his like big ass gun at the end and starts blasting dudes.
I remember that. I remember that mildly entertaining, but that was.
Or Jet Li breaking the dude's head with a kick. Oh my god! Or the neck just cracked.
They needed something like, and I think this came out well before Avengers, but they needed something that really like kind of brought them together. Some sort of choreographed thing where they all like pitch in.
They did. And there was Eric Roberts. Eric Roberts was Thanos. They brought them all together.
Eric Roberts is. I've liked him since the Best Part 1. I remember him in Dark. I was an Eric Roberts fan and starting in that movie. That's the first movie I remember where he had a starring role that I was like, I dig this guy's acting.
And then he had like a random appearance, like mid 2000s.
Yeah, he was in people forgot him in Dark Knight Rises or Dark Knight.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He was one of the main mobsters in Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's right.
Him and Michael Jai White. I remember.
What a Maroney.
They both led their own organized crime groups.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Enough of these. Enough of these fucking middle-aged dudes hitting up Applebee's after they kill some dude. Let's go on to the next one. Number 2.
Applebee's is pretty good. Applebee's sponsor this video. We'll go to the restaurant if you sponsor this video. Yeah, sponsored.
We'll have a meeting about that. Anyways.
Oh my god, dude. Fantastic Four, baby. The best one ever.
I can't even
stop trolling.
I can't even. I'm gonna have to go last unless you really want me to go first on this, because this is.
I'll start then. I'll try to.
Okay.
I think we'll have a long discussion because that's how horrible it was. So there are two factors we got to think of. maybe studio interference had something to do with this, because apparently Josh Tank did complain about how he had original cut and it didn't work out. And maybe. But here's the other thing. I think looking at what the story did, and maybe I don't know if this was in the original, but the first mistake Josh Tank did is he tried to make this some sort of prequel type. And what I mean prequel is like pretty much before the entire Fantastic Four team met. But the point of the Fantastic Four, what made that popular, is that they were already a family. You know, that's what kind of stood out from them among other, like, you know, superheroes. Like, oh, this is a family. They're already a family, and then all of a sudden they got like these superpowers, and then you got the family dynamic, working with the family dynamics and work with the new powers. The problem with this movie is this is pretty much a long time for them to even become the Fantastic Four. It was like pretty like underwhelming for the most part. Not fantastic. Yeah, not. You're right.
See what you did there.
So what you did there, but you know, and you know, they never had to team up. They all kind of did their solo thing. Like Miles Teller as, you know, Mr. Fantastic had his one action scene fighting off some people, but very boring. Michael B. Jordan was supposed to be cool because he raced cars, but didn't really do much with that. Now, Jamie Bell as Ben Grimm himself, I was surprised that he was not bad as Ben Grimm. But again, didn't do much with that. Like, it was so boring. And then the last fight scene was, like, super lackluster as well. In fact, Dr. Doom wasn't, like, scary looking. And then the special effect.
Doom wasn't in it. Okay.
Yeah, right? You wouldn't remember that because, you know,
the trailer had it in it, I thought.
Didn't do much, but... And I like how the movie ended them. Then it's like, now we're the Fantastic Four, pretty much. And I go like, really? We went through 2 hours just to get to this. This is where the movie should have started. And then this is what you guys did. But yeah, and I think this is Josh Tank is the same guy who did Chronicles, which was like supposed to be like a kind of a superhero type movie, but supposed to be very like,
superhero.
And like underground and all that, and then he tried to apply it to here, and it just doesn't work.
Chronicle was perfect. This movie was. I didn't watch it. The trailer was like, oh,
I watched it for free, and I still wanted my money back. I go like, gosh, I should have been paid to watch to sit through this garbage
per hour.
Which, by the way, there's a reason why I picked like the most pixelated version of this poster I can find out there. I honestly I can't really speak too much of it because I never saw it. Like there was one time I flipped through channels and I saw an HBO. I'm like, no, change it. I don't want to give them the ratings.
I don't want to give them the ratings. So here's how I'm. Okay, where can I start? I called this flop. Everybody saw it coming, but here was my big. I told you guys off camera. Here was my biggest warning sign. The neon lights were on. If you can find evidence of the contrary, please post it. But I saw no daytime interviews with any of the actors. Most superhero movies, there's a Good Morning America or name any morning talk show host or evening talk. There's something. Nothing. Not the night show with anybody. Nothing. I was like, crickets. This is not good. This movie will flop, and they know it. Before it even gets released, they know it.
I don't recall it. Yeah. And I don't think even Josh Tank was involved because I think what was happening more than interviews with the cast was reports of like Josh Tank being drunk on set or something like that. And like,
wow. Damn.
And sending out like tweets and like crying about the internet. And like I said, maybe studios got way too involved, but if I'm looking at what I'm seeing there, it looks like the outline wasn't really that impressive either. And it was just going for the wrong approach.
Yeah, from the ground up, it looked like not a good idea. The trailer, from what I've watched a lot, was the budget seemed there for the special effects. But the story, what they're trying to pitch, what are you doing? So they go off planet, they get their powers now. They're younger than they're supposed to be. I guess it works or doesn't.
Also, I think what people need to learn is not everything needs to be an origin story. You know.
It doesn't. It does not.
When you already had a Fantastic Four movie, there's no point of doing another origin.
There were two, right?
Yeah.
the one with Ian Garofalo, I think Ian Garofalo, the Jessica Alba, and Chris Evans, and Michael Chiklis. Yeah, there was 2 of them. But I'll take that version over this one because at least they kind of knew what they were doing.
I was just going to ask you that. Would you rather watch that again or this? But
both old ones.
I'd rather watch Purple Cloud Galactus than watch.
Oh my god!
Because even the Silver Surfer himself as CG was fun. Him scouting the planet, chasing Johnny, blasting Dr. Doom. That was fun looking. That was.
There's at least an element of fun to it. Like I wouldn't say death fun.
You know what my favorite part of this poster is? On the bottom it says from the studios that brought you. It's not even like from the writer or director, from the studios that brought you X-Men Days of Future.
And I like how that to be like I don't even remember X-Men Days of Future Past being like a huge hit. I remember being an okay, but
it was okay. They had some lines in it.
Like off topic on that because I don't want to talk about Fantastic Four, but I remember like after we talked about that, Albie, about like Matthew Vaughn's original vision for X-Men franchise, I was kind of like, huh. It's like, yeah, First Class is a lot better now that I think about it.
And well, I definitely would love to. We'll have a episode about that. I think we can definitely talk about X-Men in general, but also like
what could have been,
what could have been, or what was great about X-Men, or what didn't work, and what we look forward to in the MCU. So, or not look forward to, to be fair.
All right, so enough about this abomination of Fantastic Four. I'm trying to remember who your number 1 is. Oh, that's right.
Ooh, good choice. Great choice. I love the emoji you put up there.
That emoji is perfect. Where to even begin?
Oh man,
so God,
with this.
You guys remember, the mixture of studio execs, producers, and Michael Bay didn't direct this; he produced this. He definitely did not know Ninja Turtles. I don't think you guys remember it. I think it was like a Kids' Choice Award or Teen Choice Award or something. He was kind of like presenting, not giving like a trailer about Ninja Turtles, but giving like a preview of, his project Ninja Turtles. And one of the things he said that like stood out to people, he goes like, when you guys see this movie, you will truly believe that these Ninja Turtles exist. You will believe that these beings from space exist.
Oh,
so already that
I didn't know he said that.
And I think that was in the original script. People were like going, like, "What do you mean from space?
Why from space? Like, what is going on, man?"
They got turtles in space.
A couple reasons why that was a bad idea is like, one, of course, not only in the original source they weren't from space, but two, that ruins it because you're telling me that there's more of these beings on a planet somewhere. Correct. So that doesn't make these individuals unique. They're a race of people to it. Yeah. So that ruins it automatically.
Yeah.
I'd say another reason is this guy, Michael Bay, already did Transformers. Those are already beings from space coming to Earth. Did we really need another movie about that? No.
He already rushed. Oh, don't get me started on Transformers.
Yeah.
I wonder how this pitch meeting went. All right, Michael, what you got? Turtles from space. Yeah. About that.
they're it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not Teenage Alien Ninja Turtles. The kind of big thing is that they're not coming from top; they're coming from the bottom through the sewer. That's kind of like it's kind of like their trade.
Kind of like a thing.
Yeah. So you kind of ruined this already.
I only saw this once, but like I'm trying to remember. Did he reference anything to the previous movies, like in terms of like Cowabunga or anything? I'm trying to remember this thing.
I'm trying to remember.
I'm about to tell myself. By choice, I was watching this with another good friend of mine who's a Turtles fan, and we didn't finish it. This was for free.
Oh shit!
For like, I can't finish this. So here's the one positive thing I liked about the film from what I saw was Shredder's intro. Remember when he's tied up, he blocks the kick with his neck. That was great.
Yeah.
And I guess they put him in a giant Shredder machine because he's fighting Ninja Turtles with super strength. I guess whatever. Right?
Which
That's fine.
that's Michael Bay going like, oh, they have to fight a big thing, bigger
robots,
robotic thing, because it's not an action movie without that. Like
same sound effects too. Look at the trailer. There's the same Transformers sound effect. I think.
I did like Optimus Shredder. It was pretty cool. I like
Optimus Shredder.
Well, what's funny though is that the second one had Kang, and I felt like it was the same thing. Kang just going in a much bigger being, and then they had to fight him.
Oh, Kang from Dimension X was in the second one.
Okay. Yeah, and voiced by Brad Garrett.
No way.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't. Brad Garrett.
I think design overall was pretty bad. Like, I mean, if you look at this poster, I really wasn't a fan of the Ninja Turtle design. It's like they tried too hard to make them look contemporary. Like, I'm not saying they need to look like, the classic Ninja Turtles, but how many bandanas do they have to wear? I mean,
that's true. Why are they on their arms? Why are they? It's unnecessary.
Why do they need, like, I don't know, pants? And then I know Donatello's the smart one, but did he need to be super nerdy looking? Like,
nope.
Like that.
And
so whoever these suits were, like my joke, I call them the suits. Did they watch the source material? Did anyone watch any of it?
I doubt it. It doesn't look like they did. Or they probably watched like a preview of it. Like, okay, they're turtles. They have different color. I think the actors under the turtles did okay. Like,
yes, the voice acting of the turtles, I agree.
Leonardo was a bit weird because in the first one it was voiced by Johnny Knoxville, and then they ended up not using his voice in the second one. It kind of baffled me. I was like, what was the point of even? Okay, it doesn't matter. But human casting wasn't great. But surprisingly, Megan Fox wasn't the worst.
Oh, she was in. Yeah, she was in.
That's the other thing they did wrong. So they felt like they needed April to be part of the origins of the Ninja Turtles. Like at the end of the first movie, you found out that those turtles were her pets.
What? Oh my God. Why?
You're making me hate this movie again. I forgot.
There's no reason to do that. There's no reason to tie them together at all.
Nope. They felt the need. Like, I think, like talking about Fantastic Four, you don't need to make everything an origin story. Okay, there's no need for it. Right. So that was.
Whoever doesn't know can just Google it. I mean, who cares?
I would say the worst cast was actually in the second one, though.
I know who you say.
Casey Jones is.
Even now, I forgot.
Before I get to the bad one, let's talk about the good. Elias Koteas. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing his name right. Elias Koteas was awesome as Casey Jones in the first one, and even though he showed up in the third one, which third one was kind of weird, but he was good. He was excellent as Casey Jones. I would rather him come back, even though he doesn't look anything like he does then. But he's a terrific actor. Another good movie is Thin Red Line. He was like he had one of the best performance going against like Woody Harrelson, Nick Nolte, all these heavy hitters. But he had like the best role in Thin Red Line. But so that also made me realize how talented he was. Not just that, but also Casey Jones. So he was good. So you get this moody vigilante guy as Casey Jones, and then in the second one, the best you can come up with is the dude from Green Arrow, Stephen Arnold.
Amell. It's terrible. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was such a horrible casting.
He was so bland.
Not your fault. Oh
that was like a bland ass. And the storyline he tried to go is like, oh, I'm like a guard or something. I'm an armored truck guard, but I really want to be detective.
What? Yeah, that still doesn't make a vigilante.
Nope. Well, he becomes a vigilante because he gets fired or something. So
okay. The job market wasn't.
So I got fired. Let me take all my sports stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It was just so bland, and I go like, oh my gosh, I think they're rebooting Ninja Turtles again. They better do Casey Jones back. Even if it means bringing Elias back.
I actually heard they're bringing M. Night Shyamalan to come in as the head writer for.
They're not
the writer and directors of Ninja Turtles. You built this city. I had to do it.
I understood that reference, but I guess that's why.
Sorry, what was that reference from?
Green Arrow, the TV show. It was a meme for a while. You have built so and so, you have failed this city. First few seasons.
I'm looking at this thing that I'm just like, what part of them screams teenage? Like, how many
doesn't.
teenagers look fucking like that, dude?
And they look like they're on steroids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like they don't. Ninja Turtles don't have to be like intimidating. They have to have that charm, like there was. You know what I mean? In those old original movies.
They're supposed to be like stealthy and ninjutsu like, not like I don't see you being with all that like
There was no stealthy parts of the film. I don't. They tried. It just hire. What is? I don't have the answers. They got me stuttering. I'm looking for a recipe that they can follow that's not hard. Like you have the source material, you have the audience, you can gauge the age of the audience. Just ask them what they want. Stop trying to give us what you think we want from secret tests or secret screenings. Just ask this, you will have good films. Just come on, just do it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think Seth Rogen's involved with the next reboot.
Is he?
Yeah, which that it can be promising. I mean, we know Seth Rogen, like, I don't know, like it definitely seems like it's up his alley.
You can't do any worse than this, man.
Well, yeah,
the bar's been set real low.
But he produced some really good stuff, like Preacher, the AMC show.
I need to read that. I mean, I'm reading that. I need to watch that.
I should. Yeah, it's not bad. And also, he produced The Boys as well too.
Wow,
I read some of that and some of Hero Gasm, and then The Boys came. I didn't finish either series. No.
Yeah,
Hero Gasm.
But it sounds like he understands the source material, and he understands. Even though maybe some things aren't adaptable, he finds a way to make it work. And I remember Preacher working overall. Maybe there was one kind of weak season, but overall it worked. And so far, The Boys is like fantastic. And not that they're involved with the creative process as much. I think they're just producers, but they definitely have some oversight, and they're definitely picking the right talent for it. So it'd be cool to see what he does with Ninja Turtles.
The other reboot. How long do we have to wait for this reboot? For another 5 years?
Maybe.
Okay.
One more thing I want to mention as far as bad casting, make sure when you get Master Splinter, find an Asian person to voice him. Don't get Tony Shalhoub.
No.
You guys think I'm joking. Tony Shalhoub voiced Master Splinter. I'm like, okay, come on, guys. I get the Turtles, they're practically born in America, but that rap came from Japan, and the best you can pick was Tony Shalhoub.
It did.
Just because in some angles he looks like a rat doesn't mean he's a voice of rat. No offense to Tony Shalhoub. He's a tremendous actor, don't get me wrong, but he's definitely not known for his so.
Oh man. Well, that's some bad movies right there. Do you have anything else to say about this Oscar-winning performance from?
I didn't even finish it, so I don't count. I couldn't. I was like, I think we wanted to stop and go watch the first movie. That's how bad this was.
Just to be reminded what good one was.
I don't even know. I think once you have good source material, how do you deviate so far?
I think the only reason I saw these movies, I'm pretty sure I saw them on a plane somewhere.
He said somewhere.
He didn't have a choice, guys. He was in the air. He couldn't watch anything else.
I can go
on my phone
anywhere, so I might have finally watched these.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it sucks that I can't sleep on planes. I have trouble sleeping on planes. I gotta watch this crap. I guess I wanted to finish because I wanted to try to give it a chance because I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan.
Right.
That was a huge part of my childhood, and Michael Bay pissed all over it.
Yeah, he didn't put a lid on fire after that.
It's like Michael Bay walks by each franchise Transformers. Yeah, Calvin and Hobbes piss on it. What's that, Battleship? Yeah, you do that too.
Battleship, I forgot that came out.
Here's me playing devil's advocate. If this was 90s Michael Bay, maybe it could have been good. If we're talking 90s Michael, so I'm talking Bad Boys, The Rock. I'm talking heck, even Gone in 60 Seconds. If you brought that arm, I thought it is what it is. Nicolas Cage just being a badass once upon a time.
It would have worked.
That probably would have been cool. I'm not saying the effects would have been elaborate or anything, but
doesn't matter.
working out. But then Transformers took over.
Yeah, it changed everything.
All right. Anything else to add on to this?
Sorry, I spoke too much. My bad.
No. Because it's hard for me to really remember this movie other than like being like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like,
well,
but
like it's hard.
From one storied franchise to another. Thank you, Albie, for sharing that. We're gonna move on to Broja's top 5.
You're gonna see a trend.
Kicking us up at number 5, we got Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
It's just, guys. So, do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead, kick it off, man.
Let's talk about the pros. The pros of this film. So this film did have a few good fight scenes. I've rewatched it for some special effects, but it doesn't save it. Right? It's no matter what any fan of this movie says, this is empirically not good. And it's some of the worst lines in film. It's not good. It just I can't redeem it. Even so, the Scorpion versus Sub-Zero bridge fight scene is fun. I walked around saying that as a kid. I was walking around going, "Fire!" That was fun, but it wasn't good. The stunt actors are good, but their lines weren't. The direction wasn't good. The pacing wasn't good. Oh, wow. There's just a lot of bad. It's just like piling on. My pros are a little here and they're getting piled by the bad. That's what's happening. Oh, man. Like I said, the actors weren't even that bad. The lines were. The stuntmen were great.
True.
The main characters did some great stunts, some good choreography, but it didn't save the film. Not at all.
Do you want to talk about like a movie that didn't get any publicity? I don't remember seeing many ads about this movie when it came out.
It was probably 3.
I don't remember ads either, but I did remember really wanting to see it for some reason. I think I liked the first Mortal Kombat enough that I wanted to see it. And for some reason, I felt like Robin Chow, which I'm saying in sincerity, I thought he was a quality actor. So, he was good as Liu Kang in the first one. He was
and Beverly Hills Ninja.
Thank you.
Right.
I thought he was a good contrast to Chris Farley. So I definitely wanted to see Annihilation because, and I think it's like you said, his acting wasn't bad, but they definitely gave him some really bad lines.
Yeah, you couldn't work with that.
Can we also talk
go ahead. Before you guys go, before I forget, which actor Christopher Lambert turns down? There's an interview with like Comic-Con or something I saw recently, and he said the script was bad. That's pretty much what he said. The script sucked, so he said, "I'm not doing this film."
Who was Christopher Lambert? Was he the
He was Raiden.
He was Raiden in the first one. Okay.
Yeah. Looks like Thomas Jane.
The guy that they found, that's the guy who plays Dexter's adopted dad.
I think so.
Yeah, it's the same actor. It's kind of weird to look back into that.
Yeah, a real sympathetic character, if ever there was. Do you guys have anything? You have anything to add to this, Broja? Or Albie?
No.
Go ahead. Once again, they had the first movie. It was great. All they had to do is do that as a sequel. Just try to copy it. Just copy paste. Just add some people. Oh, I don't know how they messed it.
It definitely looked like it didn't have as much of a budget either. Yeah, I remember there was better set design in the first one, and then the second one they were just mostly at desert.
Yes,
it's like they got really cheap with it,
Yeah.
I mean that thing on the top of the poster says it all: destroy all expectations.
It did. I expected it okay to be. I got utter garbage. The annihilation happened. They annihilated all my hopes and dreams with this film.
Yeah. You expected Tekken 3, you got Tekken Tag Tournament. All right, we'll go move to Dave's or Broja's number 4. And I'm trying to remember who. Oh, Dead or Alive.
Do you remember this movie?
I can't really comment because I never watched this one, dude. It looks like it's got
this was. I mean, the poster's okay, but I watched it. I tried, and I said, "Oh, it's no." They should just save their money and made an animated version of this. It would have been better. Just there was no reason to make this live action. They should have just bought CG or just had someone draw it, and it would have been fine. It was like it's not even fair to the game at all. It's just like, oh, here's a movie. You're gonna see it because you played it live, right? Watch the movie because you guys haven't heard of it. It might be better than Ninja Turtles, but it's not good.
No, I remember seeing the advertisements for it, and I mean, I knew it was going to be bad because definitely by then we knew video game movies were going to be bad.
It didn't help video game movies at all. It just proved the point that 99% of them are straight garbage.
Oh my god, dude! I went to go look at this movie's info. The budget was $30 million. The box office raked in $7 million.
Ooh,
it lost.
It's horrible.
I can imagine, man, for a video game fanatic like you, it's got to be frustrating to see like game titles being like destroyed with these like shitty movies.
Isn't there a director that's famous for doing that? Taking video game movies or geek movies,
U-Ball.
Money off it. Yeah, that's it.
Who is it?
That's it.
U-Ball. I can't pronounce his name right. U-Ball.
UWEBOHL, I think.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with it, he'll just box you. Like literally, he can come fly to where he is. He wears a spot for his back and box you.
I think he even campaigned to do the Halo movie, and most people were like, no.
Don't give that to him.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's pretty
just thinking about himself. Don't give that to him. Please don't.
I think he was legitimately trolling. He goes like, he likes being known as like the guy who ruins stuff, but he goes like, yeah, whatever I do in my.
That's like his friggin' paycheck. And like I said, if you watch the trailer for Dead or Alive,
I saw the trailer back in the day. Yeah,
you're like, oh, this won't be good.
Can someone correct? Is Dead or Alive? Was that a predominantly like female character fighting game?
There's a lot. That's what made it famous. The Jiggles made it famous. The large female cast made it famous. The system.
Well, I remember they made. I remember they made a volleyball game.
Oh yeah, they did.
With using his characters.
Oh, now I remember.
Yes, that's a lot of beach volleyball. It's probably more famous than people think it is. If you haven't played the fighting game, you heard of that. Yeah, 100%.
Did they have any like known actors in this movie? Like I'm looking at this poster, I don't know who any of these people are.
There is a few people from certain B or martial arts movies. The girl with the sword. I think she's supposed to be Katsumi, I think. And then the person playing Tina. You know some of them. If you've seen some B-rated martial arts movies or you've seen them.
Yeah, because the guy in the far right looks familiar, but
wasn't the middle? I could be wrong. Middle girl. Wasn't she in Sin City?
Yes, way later. Yes, she was. Yes, good call. I forgot. I knew her face, and that's the most famous movie you've known her from.
So yeah, guys, Dead or Alive lost $23 million at the box office.
Jeez, and only made 7, and the budget was 30.
Yeah, any final thoughts on this movie, Roja or Albie? Before I
guess it was made to be a flop. I think it was made to be a flop on purpose so they can cash in.
That's a $30 million make to be a flop movie, dude.
I would have stopped the door and been like, "Hey, we're gonna do Dead or Alive." No, you're not. I veto this idea because I have executive power. If I was given executive power to veto it myself, I'm like, nope.
Dude, I bet you one arcade game in the like made more money than the movie did.
I guarantee you did. I bet every version of this game made more money than the movie did.
All right. Enough about DOA. Dead on Arrival. Let's go ahead.
Dead on Arrival.
Let's go to number 3. Another House of the Dead.
Another one.
And it looks like Ron Perlman peeking through the keyhole. So let's go and get into this, man.
Who else has seen this?
I saw this one.
I don't think I've ever even heard of this.
You remember the game, right?
The game was awesome.
I was aware of the game. I never played the game, but I was aware of it.
So what this did, I guess you can stop me if I'm wrong, guys. I think it was going for a House of a Thousand Corpses style thing. It was going for like a zombie slasher, and I was like, oh, they're going 180 away from the game completely. Let's see if it's a good movie. No. It should have been its own. If it was its own movie, it might have gotten a cult following or something. But the fact it was House of the Dead, and we're going to have teenagers and young adults on a zombie house. What? I don't know what they were trying to do. You did use the title to make money, I guess. But other than that, it has nothing to do with the original games, just in title.
It sounds like with most bad adaptations, instead of adapting from the source material, they like borrow from successful formulas. So the teenagers and all that, or like, kind of like in Ninja Turtles, like try to make it like more relevant looking. Nothing to do with the source material at all. Or Fantastic Four, making them younger instead of like age and all that. So
yeah, I remember because I was a freshman in high school. I was a huge fan of the Dreamcast game. So dope. I was like, oh yeah, House of the Dead. Let's watch it. Yeah, we watched. Me and my friend watched it. I was like, oh man, that was pretty cool. Like, because it was, I was a fan of the game. But like, when I got older, I was like, that thing sucked.
They wanted that quick cash grab because the House of the Dead's easily one of the most famous arcade games of the shooter.
Yeah. It was so fun too. Like Sega produced that game, right?
The House of the Dead. Yeah, it's good. The movie had
or creative.
I almost want to borrow money just to make a better version of this. Hey, lend me some money, and I'll only guarantee is if I get the money and the team and the directors and writers, it'll be better.
Hey man, it's doable. Get some fake like zombie masks from Party City and get some props.
Send it out. Better movie.
Free distribution. You got this.
Use some Snapchat filters or something.
It would be better. It just wasn't. We'll get some suits, act like we're the team, and then down footage first person. It might be better, guys. I think we can do it. We need less.
We'll wear a bunch of GoPros and shoot them.
Yeah, we'll go to GoPros and have it just like set up like a video game.
What's funny is like these types of movies, like House of the Dead, is like the formula for like bad Netflix movies now, like horror movies. Like if you get a Netflix, that's like the formula.
So much stuff to like scroll through. You find some gems, but still,
it's like we noticed you watch Conjuring. You might also like House of the Dead.
Like Ron Perlman, you might like House of the Dead. He's not in it, but look at the poster.
Yeah, look at the poster.
I was looking at the poster, he looks more like an aged Jared Leto. Like,
Morbius. It's how Jared Leto prepared for the Morbius role, dude. Method acting. All right. So we're gonna move on from House of the Dead to number 2, and I think I remember this, and I strongly disagree with this pick.
you really like? I don't even know the source material. I just know the reputation.
Hey man, ignore the name on the top there.
Ignore it. So
I think. Oh god, my bad. This is your movie. Yeah, go.
The reason I chose this, I'm glad I'm being recorded saying this. In the animated show, the characters got to see people do a play based on their stories in the world, right? Based on their past adventures up to that point. And the actual characters in the cartoon series were like, they're watching a bad play about their adventures so far. And it almost, what I want to say, predicted how bad this movie was going to be if a movie was made about them. And that bad play, was better than this movie.
Oof.
Supposedly, this is more like parts of the book. I haven't read it. I've only read a couple of side comics, but it just wasn't. Even if you take off this title, it fell flat. The acting was flat. A lot of the choreography for the martial artists were flat. just watch it. Okay, watch it compared to movies in its genre, right? It's still flat.
What?
It's not. Ignore the title. It's not really done well. The main character's acting isn't that good. Compare him to other child actors. Compare, just like I said, compare to other movies. It's still not good. With a big budget like that, I was like, what? They had all the proof they needed. They had all the source material they needed. They didn't have to make a movie. They didn't.
And I wonder
how do you mess up when you have the instruction booklet in front of you? You know what I'm saying?
I also wonder what M. Night Shyamalan's like interest was to this. Did he watch it, or maybe his kids watched it?
Yeah, I hope, man.
I don't know. And I'm not saying this is everything, but I do feel like representation matters. I feel like I know the universe, it's not taking place in a realistic Asian country, but it is heavily influenced by like an Asian diet. So why cast a white person in the main role? Or also, I thought M. Night Shyamalan know better. Why cast like Indians or people of like I don't know if it's Middle Eastern descent or Indian descent. Either way, brown actors. Why make them the bad guy? Like what?
Why? Yeah, like I was like, why?
Like Dev Patel, man, you just did Slumdog Millionaire, and then now you're playing like a weak ass villain.
Oh man, such a good movie.
I didn't bother watching it. Like
good, Joe. I saw it in theater. I wanted to go. Oh, I'm about to leave. Ooh, this is bad. Maybe I should just act like I'm watching another movie. How'd they mess up there? I'm sitting there like, wait, how'd they mess this up? Why even put that in? I'm sitting there reviewing it in theater, and like I'm talking low. I'm like, this. I wonder who thinks this is good. What is happening? Should this be happening? They can't use fire. I know why they can't use fire in film, but how the earthbenders in jail and they're standing on raw earth. They're standing on the ground, but they're trapping. It does. That scene didn't make any sense.
Was there you
watching
twist
it?
At the end?
I forgot this twist.
Was Bruce Willis dead this whole time? That'd be funny if the twist was like he does. There's like an M. Night Shyamalan cut, and it's pretty much the same thing. It's the same movie, but at the end, it is it was all just a dream. This movie never existed.
That'd be great. Aang just woke up and had a nightmare.
That's all it was. It was just my really bad dream.
That's how I'd retcon it like that if I could. But guess what?
Heck, we can just like record. We should just get the movie, edit. Just add that edit in the end.
Hey, this is
actually pack photos. You look like M. Night Shyamalan, so we'll just have you cast as M. Night Shyamalan. We'll just shoot you, wake it up, go like, what a horrible dream.
That's all we got to do. Yeah.
So my thing with this is, I never saw the cartoon, but the thing that drew me in with the trailer, the trailer drew me in because it was Aang practicing in this tower, and as he pans out, you see like 18 boats coming after him, with like fireballs launching. I was like, oh, this is pretty dope. So I mostly enjoyed. I saw this with Josh X. I enjoyed this film because of the special effects, because I had no idea no ties to the cartoon. So then when I talked to Josh, I was like, "Do you like it?" He's like, "No, I think it sucked, man. My cousin hated it too." I'm like, "What? It was great." And he's like, "They didn't even pronounce his name right." But I can see why people don't like it. I think for me, I just like visuals, like the special effects are cool to me. But
no, they have money for the special effects. That's the only thing that wasn't bad about the movie.
And you got to remember, this was a time during it's like 2010. So it's before all like the big blockbusters of the MCU came. So this thing was really like, I was like, oh crap, this is pretty cool, And it was coming off the same year as the Avatar movie from James Cameron. And I think that's why they took that out of the title, right? They just put it Last Airbender because they didn't want to confuse it with Cameron's franchise, I think.
Because the show's called Avatar, but he is the Last Airbender. They didn't put in Last Airbender, it would confuse it. You're right.
So yeah, this movie should have won an Oscar. Let's go to number one.
Yes. Oscar the Grouch would definitely like to throw this movie away.
I think you love your number one film, and I'm not surprised you picked this one. Street Fighter.
Oh boy.
Where to begin?
Well, Van Damme said he was coked out of his mind, so that's a positive.
He didn't even care.
That's a pro. He dated Cammie White, that actress. That's a pro for him, I guess. So pro for him.
Wait, dated Kylie Minogue? Is that?
I think they started dating during the set of this movie. Another pro, Raul Julia's in it. That's a pro. I hate that was his last movie. His kids loved he was in it. They knew what movie he was doing. He had the best lines in the film. He was the best part of the film. Everything else was abysmal. It was. I mean, there were some fun one-liners from Zangief doing this. That was funny. If it was a comedy, it'd be great, but it wasn't trying to be. Who wants to go home? Who wants to go with me? I choose to go home. Guile. This is bad. I mean, how is this movie good? So let's put it in perspective of the time period it came out. There were better, lower budget action movies than this. Everything about this movie was wow.
Like, if I'm not mistaken, there really wasn't much of a choreography to it. Like, how often did Van Damme fight? Like,
I mean, I fooled myself when they had Ryu do the Hadouken. He just did this motion, and it hit someone in the chest, and there's a flash in the screen, and that was it. Like, literally, he does that. He does the move, does that, hits the guy in the chest, he does a backflip, and then the screen flashes. I guess that's what they Hadouken. They made Ryu and Ken arm dealers. They Ken look out of shape from just like a regular guy. It didn't. Yeah. The casting, Saget was, I think, another arms dealer. They just took the characters' names and made them what they wanted. I don't know what they wanted from this film. I don't know what the goal was, but it was completely like someone.
It definitely didn't make money.
No. Right? So someone either never. Maybe it's a parody. I think it's a parody of the game. It's still bad if it's a parody because it's trying to be serious. I mean, Van Damme got to flex his arm with the American flag, if that means anything. It doesn't, but it happens.
So, would you say this movie is better or worse than Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li?
Oh, this is worse.
It's worse?
Yeah. I haven't even watched that, but that trailer is better than this whole film.
You really hate this movie, huh?
It's not good. Like, guy, I've watched it more than once. I've watched it throughout times in my life, and I'm like, oh, this is funny because it's bad. It still isn't good. Maybe I can watch it again. I mean, I'm going to kick Bison's ass so hard. The next Bison want to be is going to feel it. It's funny, but
it's terrible. So, can I ask you something, Roja? Like,
yes, you can.
So these movies you list, like the video game ones, did you have like a connection to the games because they were so good?
Yeah, I would say this list, it always stays in my head. Some of these always stay in my head because what's even worse is it's one thing having source material you can read. Well, this is source material you can play, and you still get it horribly wrong. Which means A, was a cash grab, and B, you didn't care. Or your original vision had all the oversight and you needed money and it was out of your hands and they still pushed the movie out. Either way, it failed.
So is that what like factors into some of your decisions? Like, because it's like you had like an attachment to the Street Fighter game and then seeing it on the big screen into this like abomination, you're just like,
yeah, I was like, wait a minute. This isn't Street Fighter 1. This isn't any of the Street Fighter 2 storyline. It's its own thing and it's bad. At least make it good if you're going to change some stuff up. Oh, I'll tell you, this stuck out to me because Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, the actual motion picture that's animated is really, really good. And it's an original story, sort of. It's based off canon from some of the games, but it's still better than this. It's not even the same league. Watch it. Watch Street Fighter the animated film. No, it's. I don't know. How did they? Did this come out first? I don't think it did. I think you have to. I have to Google that for me. Find out when Street Fighter 2 the animated motion picture came out and when it came out.
I believe you that the animated version's better. They typically
By far.
Animated movies typically do better. I think it's because they don't have so many like execs' hands in the pot when it comes to animated, so they're more
correct.
trying to do what they want with it.
There's not enough suits involved.
Animation,
Get a good animated house. Yeah, I look at coming up soon. You guys watch Castlevania on Netflix?
I haven't. I hear a lot of good things about it.
But Adi Shankar and I think Warren Ellis, they took their own story based off Castlevania, but it's good. So you could do that. You can take the characters, make an original story, and go, okay, this is based off the game. So the fan and dweebs like me, the geeks know, oh, it's based off the franchise. Let's see what you do. You have all the source material. How are you fumbling the bowl with this big of a budget? That's all I'm saying. Unless the goal was to make a bad movie, get a paycheck, and then just run.
And I do understand sometimes you can't be like 100% like true to source material, but make sure you still stick to the spirit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to the point of it. Yeah, make changes, but don't like get too carried away or lose the point of what it's all about. And if you can see Street Fighter, I think the point is we're supposed to see like fight scenes, maybe street level fight scenes, and you don't see that. So it definitely didn't get the point of it. All the people that we known for their unique fighting skills are not showcased in the movie at all. So, yeah.
I mean, I want to do a line from the film, but I can't make it work. But I'll just follow it because it'll be funny. So you guys, this bad movie affected your life, but to the directing house and the writers, it was only Tuesday, or merely Tuesday, man. It's gonna be said. So the audience can laugh and I messed up the line because the movie's bad. The line is good. The Raw Julia said the movie. The posters.
Yeah, posters. I did check, Broja. The animated film came out the same year, but before this movie. Like it came out in January. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. The animated movie came out, and they still. Oh.
They still botched it.
Maybe this was already in production. It was done when the animated film came out. And they didn't care about it. Maybe that's it, right? 90s anime, they didn't care, I guess. Long hair, don't care.
I also did hear Raul Julia. That was around the time where he had cancer, and I think they did have plans for him to have more fight scenes involved, but they couldn't because, unfortunately,
they dedicated this movie to him. I mean.
But still, if you look at the rest of the movie, it's not like the fight scenes were good there. So why expect
they weren't.
Last, So, yeah.
Yeah, we should rewatch this, dude. But I'm kidding. I understand.
If you want a reaction video, if we do it just like this reaction video, sure. I'm getting some snacks because
I'll bring the whiskey.
Oh man. All right, did you want anything else to add to this illustrious list?
I can say so much. I mean, look at it.
Look at the poster.
And the ending scene where they all just lined up and it goes Street Fighter. I'm like,
it was like a freeze frame, and they all do a pose. Yeah. It's like they're doing a group pose, and I'm like, come on.
I'm like, guys, what? Why? When, how, where, why? What, how, when, where, why? So I don't know.
The 90s were weird times, actually.
True. A lot of weird stuff happened. Like this
people don't want to admit it, but the 90s were weird times.
Probably fun.
Was that the Attitude Era?
Mm-hmm.
In wrestling? The Attitude Era was the 90s?
Late 90s.
Yeah, late 90s. We need 5 teenagers with attitude.
Oh, that's right, Power Rangers. Hey, man, that was a good cash grab for him, Steven. Or Heim.
Saban Entertainment, that was genius. No internet.
You're talking about
or
the
low
first
internet speeds.
Yeah.
It definitely was a cash grab because I convinced my dad to take us, and he was like pretty annoyed that he did take us. I'm pretty sure every couple minutes in the theater he'd go like, "Hey guys, this stinks." A couple minutes later, they get their new powers and they're in the door, and my dad just goes like, "Guys, this really stinks."
So I liked the new Power Ranger movie until I thought that was a giant Krispy Kreme commercial. I think that's who they're sponsored. Yeah, it was fun until I realized. I said, "Wait a minute, Goldar shouldn't have happened like that." Was it Krispy Kreme? Was that what they're advertising?
Yeah, it was a Krispy Kreme or something like that. Yeah, I remember that.
I did like the movie too. You know,
I did.
I didn't like the Zords or the Goldar CG, but
everything else before that was good.
There was at least effort to it. Like
there was.
Yeah, it was too much of an Origins movie, but still there was at least effort to it. You know, Bryan Cranston was actually intriguing as Zordon. Elizabeth Banks was really cool as a Rita, actually.
It did work, yeah.
And I think the cast, I think they definitely had chemistry together.
They did.
So,
yeah.
All
right, Broja, thank you for sharing this list. We're gonna go to mine, and
here we go.
Let me guess.
I'll make
this. Trolls.
No. I'll make this quick. So my reasoning for this, I had to put an MCU film in here, and my criteria when I did my list was like, is there any redeeming qualities in any of these movies? And mine would be like the redeeming qualities don't outweigh the negatives, and the negatives were so much in this movie that I had to put this on the list. I would love to see Ben Kingsley's portrayal of the Mandarin, because what they showed in the trailer and leading up to it before that stupid switcheroo was pretty good. I mean, the good thing is it leads to a new real Mandarin in Shang-Chi coming out. I didn't like how Iron Patriot was introduced. It basically felt like a comedy action. It didn't feel like an actual I don't know. To me, it was the last of the formulaic MCU movies, because after this, I think Thor: Dark World, but then the Russos came in and did Winter Soldier and then changed it up the way how MCU movies should be or are done.
Yeah,
but
I think Winter Soldier came out before
this. No.
This came out.
And
okay, either way, I do understand the point that you're making, though.
I think there was a lot of recency bias when this came out, because it came out right after the year after Avengers 1 came out. So it was like it did like $1 billion at the box office, but
it did take place.
But I mean, back then I was like, oh, it wasn't bad. And looking back on it now, I'm like, yeah, I don't rewatch this one for a reason.
No.
I would rather watch Thor: Dark World before I rewatch this.
Mm-hmm.
And he got rid of his arc reactor. That was the like you're not Iron Man anymore.
Okay.
I mean, remember Tony Stark without his suit? He's a millionaire, inventor, and philanthropist. And there he goes. I know what you mean.
Can I put my?
Yeah, no, go for it.
I'll go last. I'll go last.
Because I will have to disagree with you. At least disagree being this in the worst film ever. Maybe I can understand some outrage. Well, we'll start with because you started with Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin.
Yes.
I thought the execution of the switcheroo was bad. The idea I thought was genius because
what?
Because first they picked Ben Kingsley. Ben Kingsley, I believe he's from the UK. He's, if I'm not mistaken, he's half Indian, half white. The dude gets cast in a lot of minority roles. So I thought using him was kind of genius because they pretty much make Ben Kingsley into the Mandarin, which there's no definite what is his origins from. They just dress him in in this exotic look, dress him in all these things that a lot of Western audience fear. So, they made him pretty much as a pawn to scare people, while in the behind the scenes it's actually these corrupted execs.
Right.
The ones that we're really supposed to be afraid of. So in that sense, I thought that part was genius, but I thought the switcheroo maybe was a bit too comedic for its taste, and maybe Ben Kingsley also didn't need to be a complete idiot. Like he's all drugged up and everything, and then he like falls asleep most of the time.
Yeah.
So I could agree that could annoy people, but I thought the concept was like genius, especially when you think about at least the early incarnations of Mandarin. That's a racist character. That's a racist.
It is. Fu Manchu, you borrowed him, and Mandarin, yeah.
So, which is why Shang-Chi, I'm glad they got Tony Leung Chiu-wei, which he's like, there was a time where he was like China's like top leading man and plays a lot of these like heroes and stuff. I'm really glad that they chose some of his caliber to play Mandarin. I look forward to that. And, clearly it's going to be less of a joke than in Iron Man 3.
No, they're going to post switcheroo. They're going to bring back Ben Kingsley. I know you'll go next. I just wanted to say, though, I should have prefaced it. I knew this was going to be a controversial pick, putting on the worst. My original number 5 was Hellboy 2019, but I wanted to throw in an MCU just for variety. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But
showing that we're not complete Disney shills.
Yes.
Whatever you say.
Yes.
Your words, not mine.
Yeah, I don't want people to think that I think every Marvel MCU movie is a 10 out of 10. I don't want them to think I think that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what this was a buddy cop movie.
Shane Black.
Is Iron Man 2? Which one
No.
do they have? This one, right? The Extremis, and then the Peter with all the Iron Man armors.
That was Iron Man 3, yeah.
Okay. So when I realized that I was getting Lethal Weapon 2, I go, that's what they're giving me. They're giving me Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah.
So when they did that, I'm like, oh, okay. So how is this Iron Man 3? And then when they definitely Christmas it at the end. Since I knew what I was getting, I couldn't be as sad, but no, it wasn't one of the best MCU films. I like some parts of it. You see how fast they retconned him not being the Mandarin being real, though, right? Like, okay, hurry up and fix this.
Yep. They made that one
short.
Yeah.
The short.
Yeah,
they had to do that. They're like, okay, oops.
That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of it for this movie. Like, I mean, okay, it's not that bad. It gets a lot of flack from like the MCU.
Yeah, but it's not.
But
it's.
I don't know what I think. I think you're right, Albie. Like in terms of like the plan and what Guy Pearce's character was planning, like killing Aldrich. Yeah, that's genius. A figurehead as the spokesman for your, but working behind the scenes and no one knows it's you. Yeah, I agree. That's pretty genius, But I just wanted to throw an MCU film in there just for throwing it. You know what I mean? But originally, David Harbour's Hellboy was going to be in there because I fell asleep in that movie like 3 times, and I didn't even take a benefit.
Wow, it was that bad.
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
But
I mean, I get some of what you're saying though. Like you know, I have my disagreements. I do.
Since you fell asleep, not 1, not 2, but 3 times.
Not 3 times.
Dude, and there's no freaking sorry. There's no AC/DC songs in this movie, man.
And Iron Man 3?
Maybe this will make people hate it more. They did come out with a spiritual soundtrack and I in hindsight, this does bring down the quality. So first 2 Iron Mans, you'd think of AC/DC. Then in Iron Man 3, they use songs from Imagine Dragons. So yeah.
I didn't know that.
I can understand the of course,
I mean, it's not the same channel.
Because I remember Imagine Dragon was like, I don't hate Imagine Dragon, but
me neither.
Podcast sponsored by Imagine Dragon. Thank you guys.
Yep.
But it's hard to follow AC/DC, and then Imagine Dragon was the best they could do because at least that time there were a lot of Imagine Dragon songs being used in commercials and whatnot.
Maybe it was radioactive, so they didn't want to touch it.
Yeah. We'll call this like honorable mention. All right, it's not even number 5. I'll move on to number 4. This is actually a bad movie, Spider-Man 3.
Yep.
And there's not much to say that hasn't already been said.
And
I'll just say the only enjoyment I get out of this movie is when I quote Albie when we're talking about Knocked Up, how they're always like, shit, we got to go. Spider-Man 3 is on in 20 minutes. Or Paul Rudd's like, I went to go see a movie. What'd you see? Spider-Man 3. That's the only enjoyment I get out of Spider-Man 3. Like, I did not like this film at all.
That was like years before Spider-Man 3 even came out. I think that was like an inside joke that they were doing. Like, oh, by the time it's come out, maybe Spider-Man 3 will be out.
Yeah.
I know, it wasn't good.
I mean, what, dancing emo Toby, the freaking Venom played by the guy from that 70s show, like,
and he's not a bad actor. It's just that was
he's not.
Yeah,
because it was.
There's films that just straight up like don't age well, and like this came out like what 2007, and it's aged horribly. Like when I I'm trying to remember where I saw it, like on TNT or something. I'm like, this is terrible.
And they spent a lot of money on the effects. I heard like the Sandman scenes were probably the most expensive, like some of the most expensive like special effects there were. And I guess they were okay, but it wasn't.
They shouldn't have brought Venom in at all.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like this was an example. The reason why it's bad is because it's an example of execs like meddling with what the original vision was. Like, Venom wasn't originally supposed to be introduced this, but they're like, no. Yeah.
No. Sam Raimi didn't want Venom at all, really.
Yeah.
Venom makes money. Put him in. Like, no, it doesn't fit, guys.
Yeah. I think Hobgoblin, he was supposed to be the only villain, and that would have worked. I mean, and that would be kind of a decent ending, him like facing off his best friend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sandman wasn't supposed to be in it either?
No, Sandman was supposed to be in it. Cause
it's okay.
That was like the tie-in to, like, who shot Uncle Ben. But, yeah, the scene with Harry Osborn would have been the better ending than freaking them teaming up to stop Venom.
I heard despite how bad it was, I mean, Sam Raimi was still going to do a Spider-Man 4, and I think he was going to use, like, Vulture. He, like, wanted John Malkovich to be, like, Vulture.
Yeah. I heard about that, yeah. What was the line that Franco said? He was like, I kicked your ass in high school, and I'll kick it again. It's like, oh, my gosh.
I don't remember a lot of the dialogue in that movie.
It was pretty bad.
I didn't remember. Wow. I would have lost that trivia question. I didn't know that happened.
I think the only line I remember, because it just felt kind of weak, was, the Sandman, Thomas Hayden Church, was saying, I didn't mean to kill Uncle Ben or something like that, or kill blah, 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 blah. And then, like, Tobey Maguire stares at him and he goes, like, I forgive you. And I'm like,
I don't forgive him for making this movie, though.
Bad. So, yeah. No, this is a proper thing to put in the
It's fair, right? Well, I wanted to put Fantastic Four on here, but I wanted to also add variety. But yeah, so with that, number 3.
What's number 3?
Everyone's...
Oh, yeah.
I almost wanted to put this on my list too, yeah.
I wanted it to be good, but it wasn't.
Where to begin?
I wanted it to be good, guys, I promise.
The trailer was cringy, like when he goes, we're some type of Suicide Squad. I'm like, oh no. Yeah. There's not many redeeming qualities. Yeah, there's not many redeeming qualities from this movie. Another one of those examples of like they don't know what they want it to be, so let's just make it like Guardians. You know what I mean?
Yep, with the soundtrack and everything.
Yeah, and here's to James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which I think looks infinitely better than what this abomination was.
Yes, it does. Actually, yes.
Well, they're definitely giving him more creative control than they did to David Ayer, because I heard David Ayer had like close to 0 creative control. So
yeah, and I heard they're trying to release his cut now.
Yeah, Which honestly, I'm fine if they do.
Yeah, I'd watch it. I bet it'll be better than this. That's all I'm telling you. He might need that. If it helps him, I say bring it out. We got nothing to lose, right?
I mean,
okay, we have time to lose, but I mean, I bet it'll be better.
Oh, I'm sure it will be, but it's like, is it worth it? You know what I mean? Like,
True.
With Justice League, I understood it because it's like you have, like, no offense to any of the actors on this list, but you had a solid crew all around. It's like, and you had a vision that people just wanted to see. Whereas this movie was there, and I don't know. I can't really speak much about it. I saw it once, and I should have known. Like the person I was dating at the time was like, I thought that was really good, and I was like, really?
Really good, stretching it. Thought it was really good.
It took a long time to get started. I mean, there was like, they thought they were being like crafty with like all these introductions. Like, here's the file of this character, here's the file of this character, and I'm like, why are we getting the file of most of these characters that one you don't really utilize later to begin with? In fact, one of them you get killed right away, which was Adam Beach's character. And so that was like probably unnecessary. And also, it just kind of felt weird that they practically only had one mission. Yeah, we're supposed to believe that they already feel like a family. And you know what? I don't think Suicide Squad, you're missing the point of it. The Suicide Squad's not supposed to feel like all this like familial unit. They're supposed to be a bunch of like horrible people, just,
Yeah. I think the one redeeming thing is I actually did like Viola Davis's character.
Oh,
that's about it, honestly.
Viola Davis is one of the best actors ever. Anything she does is, gold. So I'm glad they're bringing her back.
Yeah, she deserves. It's her and Rick Flag's not coming back, is he? It's the Boomerang's coming back.
Oh, Rick Flag's coming back, and Boomerang.
Huh.
Captain Boomerang is coming back.
Yeah, keeps coming back, and Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah.
I guess like
the stage.
I just remember Jay Hernandez ending where he just like really, that's how you're gonna kill this guy.
Was he Diablo?
Yeah.
I saw them try to do something with him. Like, he was kind of like the character with like sort of like redeeming quality because the family and everything and all that.
Right. The really cringy part for me was when was it Killer Croc was in jail, and it's so racist, man. He was like, why has he got to be watching BET? Like, this is terrible.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
I think I do. I think if I look at my memory, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I bet I remember it. I don't remember. I don't know how I remember that, but that's okay. Will Smith got to shoot guns again with his one-liners, and then my favorite character wasn't Amanda Waller's my favorite DC Comics character still to this day. She did well.
Who's your favorite character?
Amanda Waller.
Okay.
Rick Flag did fine. I rewatched that Deadshot scene though with Will Smith. That's fun. Where he's doing target practice. I think it's my only part.
That was good, yeah. But
that was fun.
The dialogue, no.
Jokers must be crazy.
You could tell which lines were written by Will Smith, man.
Yeah, ad-lib.
Yeah.
I wonder if someone
white people
like, hey, man, this isn't Bad Boys, okay? We're going for a different tone here, okay?
And I think that was like, I mean, it's just hearsay, but the rumor was that was one of the reasons why Tom Hardy dropped out. He was like, I'm not dealing with this.
Oh, he dropped out. Who was it?
Huh?
Tom Hardy was in it? Was going to be in it?
Yeah, he was originally casted in it.
Do we know who? Or
it's not Rick Flag. I thought it was Captain Boomerang, but let me double check.
Oh, gosh. That's upsetting.
He could have saved the movie. No.
Yeah, so he was supposed to play Rick Flag.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean,
I would have gotten him and Boomerang confused because they look alike.
True. But I guess they wanted to get a real Australian to play Boomerang.
Makes sense.
Australian.
He might not be, but I forgot the actor's name who played Boomerang. I know we know him, but I keep forgetting his name.
John Hamm.
Oh, is it?
No.
I didn't think so. I was like, you're definitely trolling.
Can we talk about the obvious topic, Jared Leto, Joker? Like, and I'm trying to maybe try to take an unbiased approach, but
you are. I mean, no one liked the way he looked. I get it. I've already said in the last video, the man had 20 minutes and it wasn't his film.
Sure.
They used him to sell the trailer, but they didn't give anyone a Joker that they expected, let alone what they would like. If you liked it, if you didn't, I don't blame him for it because he had 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes in the end. It's fine. They gave him his lines in the Justice League though. 3 minutes.
Yeah. He had his Marilyn Manson moment and redeemed him.
3 minutes.
Said I don't want to address the obvious. Jared Leto's joke.
I figured
the elephant in the room.
Well, I remember watching it and I was like, "That's it. Where's Jared Leto at?" It was like he was so heavily advertised. They basically
they made him like he's a main part of the film, and he's not really.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it was an example, and he was definitely made for marketing because they definitely put too much on him. Like,
they did
stuff, and it was like, it's kind of like what they did to the Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
Like, that's a bit like I think there's a way you could have a contemporary Joker, but without going like super overboard. I mean,
correct.
Have to look like Post Malone. I mean,
he doesn't need to. He
like an anorexic
like
Post Malone.
Yeah. Less is more. When it comes to Joker, less is more.
Yeah. And all right, enough about Michael Bay's Suicide Squad. Let's go move in. Numero dos. Transformers: The Last Night.
I'm trying to see. Did I see that one?
You did yourself a favor if you didn't.
I saw the trailer. I was like, no.
Was that Marky Mark's second Transformer movie?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes.
I saw the first one.
See, there's a lot of things wrong with this.
I am in the last time.
I'm in the minority. I liked the Bay Transformers 1 and 2, but there was a charm to Wiki's character number 1. But I remember when Mark Wahlberg got casted for the third one. I remember I saw this movie. The other one he did with Josh. I said, "Watch, he's gonna find a way to punch a Transformer." I was like, he's laughing. I was like, "I'm not kidding you. He's gonna punch a Transformer or something." Sure enough, this movie, he grabs that freaking sword and like slices a Transformer. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. What the hell? These are like advanced robots, and he just kills them.
They're not even robots. They're not. They're more advanced than that. They are non-organic organisms.
Right. And I gotta ask, like, what scientists out there are like yoked? Like, when do you have time to go to the gym? Like with that first trailer, like, hey guys, I think we found a Transformer. It's Optimus Prime. I'm like, oh my god.
Wait a minute.
Why did you cast Mark Brown?
Where's Shia LaBeouf's character after part 2? Like, what's happening in the same one?
Where's what?
Wiki. Where does he go after part 2?
He does the third one, and he gets a job. Like John Malkovich is like the boss. Like he has. I'm trying to remember what happens in that one. I guess his character closes. I guess in the third one, because in the fourth one begins, they don't even acknowledge him anymore.
See, that doesn't make any sense. So
right, because it's such a huge tie to B. And if you haven't seen this yet, like here's a spoiler. I thought Sam was going to be in this movie. It's like, oh, cool, Shia LaBeouf's got to be in this. Bay confirmed this is the last one. The only appearance Sam has is a picture of him in Anthony Hopkins' house. That's it. It's like that's it.
Is he related to Anthony Hopkins' character? Like,
yeah, it's like the wikis or something like that. Like it's part of a lineage that's been. Yeah, it's so stupid, man.
Okay.
It's like the height of like Michael Bay garbage Transformers. Like when I saw this movie, Because of course, it's like, of course, Mark Wahlberg would kill a Transformer by himself. You know, why wouldn't he?
With a special sword of some type.
Yeah, like he could wield the sword and just slice the Transformer.
Was it
I don't
super
hate
special
Mark Wahlberg.
Transformer cutting sword?
Yeah, that special one they make in space. Ichi the dwarf makes it.
Oh yeah, the dwarfs.
I saw what
reference.
you. Yeah, I understood that reference.
I'm so not gonna watch this movie, guys.
We should, just to see him slice a Transformer.
If they pay us per hour, I'll watch it on StreamYard with you.
Wait, how many ones did Mark Wahlberg did? Did he do 3 as well, or is it?
He did 2.
Okay, so the one before that was like the dinosaur one or something.
Yes, that's the one. I think Stanley Tucci was in that one.
I
saw that one.
He was I like Stanley Tucci, but in that
Great
very Stanley Tucci.
The second one was also bad. The second Transformer was also bad. I called it, and then in the Washington Post, I saw it a couple days later. I said, "See, I was right."
I only saw the first Transformers, and
it's also bad. But that's okay. It's different bad.
Second was bad, but it's like fun bad for me. Like that's why I like it. But what was it? It was Excalibur. That's what he was wielding in his hand. That's why.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it actually Excalibur, like King Arthur's Excalibur, or do they reference King Arthur a lot in this? Or?
I'm trying not to remember it, but
trying not to remember this.
Can't believe this.
It's called The Last Night.
And King Arthur's not. Guy Ritchie's King Arthur is not getting a sequel. That
I did like that movie, though. Believe it or not.
I did too. I loved it. I kind of wish that got more attention than the Transformers franchise. But
yes, it's better than the Transformers franchise all day.
Can I ask you guys? Are you guys surprised that this is on my list? You would have never guessed Transformers.
I wouldn't have guessed, but I'm not surprised.
I wouldn't have guessed either. Like I don't think you and I ever talked about Transformers. Maybe because like me myself, I don't really like any of the.
I don't like transforming robots. Yeah, so I guess my gripe is when I hate when actors use their sway to write something in for themselves.
Okay.
And this obviously felt like a Mark. His agent's like, hey, he's probably got a Boston agent. Hey, Mark's got to have a role here. He's got to have something. He's got to do something with these robots.
And are we going to destroy Yankee Stadium? Are we going to destroy it? Huh? No, we can't. We don't have the right to do that. All right. Well, then let Marky Mark kill one of those things with a sword or something. Or punch.
Put in a sword or something.
So give a sword.
Put in Excalibur. That's from King Arthur. How are we going to put that in? Find a way to write it in. Just put it in there.
Like, is Dunkin'
way to write it in.
Sponsoring us? Is Dunkin' Donuts sponsoring us?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like some movies Mark Wahlberg's done, but I just
me too.
It was obvious in this movie and in the previous one. I'm like, okay, this is stupid.
Just wrote him in so he can get some screen time, pretty much.
Oh, God, that thing always plays in my head. I think we found a Transformer.
It was also weird that they spent not in this one, the one before, they spent a whole time because his daughter, who was 16, was dating a 20-year-old dude or something, and they spent the whole time explaining the Romeo and Juliet law in Texas, which pretty much legalizes adults dating high schoolers. It was fucking
what? I didn't hear that.
Probably good thing you didn't, honestly.
I didn't want to hear that. Let's hope that's not a law.
You know what?
And it's weird that Michael Bay took time to. Oh my God!
And I'm remembering now Age of Extinction, the one before this, because you remember who was in that? T.G. Miller was in there for a brief second. He got killed.
God, talk about someone who's not relevant anymore.
Kind of like this movie. We're gonna move on to my number one. So I noticed this was never brought up, and I think it should be addressed. Number one. You guys ready?
Nope.
No?
I'm not ready.
Dragon Ball Evolution. This was, oh my gosh. So I
tried to run.
I would argue that Dragon Ball, aside from the Pokemon, maybe even Sailor Moon, I would argue that Dragon Ball was one of the most popular anime of the '90s in America, and even early 2000s. So when I was like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna do a Dragon Ball movie, sweet," and then I saw it, and I was like, "What's this?" This doesn't get talked about, and that's for a good reason, man. Like I remember
trying to slide off of screen and hide.
See,
Try and hide from the film. Oh man!
I never.
There should have been some representation for Goku, man. Like this was the worst piece of garbage I've ever.
We should have burnt every poster in that film in our city.
I'm sad Chow Yun-Fat did this movie, dude, because I'm like he's always gonna be associated, like in the credits, like Chow Yun-Fat was in Dragon Ball.
Inspector Tequila of Hard Boiled, one of the greatest action movies ever, probably the greatest.
Might be, yeah.
Got involved in this.
Yeah, man.
What was this Dragon Ball evolving from? Actually, I haven't seen it. I've only seen bits and pieces. I'm never gonna watch it with a straight face.
We should.
I have not seen it. I have not seen it. The trailer. I goes, wait a minute. There's a Goku in high school. He never went to school. Why is he American? No. Why would I watch that for free? He's an American movie. He's in American high school. Why is this called Dragon Ball? And what does this have to do with anything? Does he collect them? And why is he human, first of all? Is he actually a Saiyan who landed here and went to high school? Is that what happened?
Does this dude work out, bro? Look at him. Like,
yeah. It's like,
I don't know a lot about Dragon Ball, but I knew like Goku's like built. Like,
yeah,
really.
Even as a teenager. So I don't. Yeah. So give me the premise. What happened?
It's terrible. The reason why I also put it on here, it's the best example of them freaking whitewashing a good character with this B-rated actor.
Yeah, he's an alien, first of all. So, but let me look at the poster. So I remember the movie. I remember not wanting anything to do with this. I remember him shooting air. It's supposed to be chi, and I get it. And they say I think he talked about chi. Were there actual 7 Dragon Balls?
Yeah, there were 7 Dragon Balls.
Okay. If you pay me to watch this, I'll watch it with you, and I'll cry.
I mean, I'll pay to rent the movie, but I'm not going to pay you. I mean, look at this. Like, okay, so Bulma is Emmy Rossum. She's the girl from Shameless. Like, I get that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if the agent that booked him for this also booked him for Shameless. But the 2 main characters, Goku and Bulma, are both, you know what I mean? American. Like, this is terrible. Like,
did Axe hair products sponsor this movie? Like, Axe hair products. Be a white dude.
That's happened. Like, let's go 90s. The dude could just spike his hair up, and he looks like his. They gave him bed hair.
Oh, like
just roll out of bed, come on set. That's what we want you to do. Here's some Axe. Roll out of bed, come on set, wear a t-shirt, go to school, and get your Dragon Ball movie. I would have said no to this film. I'd have been like, I don't want my name on it, but you're gonna get thousands of dollars. No, I'll forever be stained with this.
You should see how Piccolo looks like them, and he looks like a Skrull from Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't they get the guy who played Darth Maul as Piccolo or something?
No. It's not Ray Park.
It's not Ray Park.
Ray Park. No.
No, it's
Ray Park's amazing.
Let me go. It's James Marsters.
I'm sorry.
Oh, his credits are Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel. He was on DuckTales.
DuckTales. The new one, right?
Yeah, the new one. He was Nosferatu. That's who Piccolo was. Yeah.
Okay.
I put this as number 1 just because I had a fond memory of Dragon Ball Z as a kid. And I was like, oh, a live action one. And then I remember seeing it play on like Showtime on like repeat. I'm like, who's actually watching this crap?
Sometimes the poster tells everything, and I feel like this poster
tells the entire movie. It's going to be bad. Ooh, you know a movie I should have put on my top 5 that I forgot? Double Dragon.
Oh,
I think we talked about that last.
we did.
Yeah,
we
I
did
told you. Oh, I did. I said the movie was taken down the same day as what the poster was. At least I go, wow, what's going on? Now showing. Nope. JK.
I think what was funny is that we went through that list the last episode, and I went like, I haven't seen a lot of these movies. That's a good thing.
Yes.
So I thought it was hard for us to make a list because I go like, I'm sure what we're gonna pick is not gonna be as bad as the list that we saw last episode. but I think with the stuff that we're bringing up, like studio interference, high expectations, representation, I think our list is pretty good. And you know, even though maybe the production values of some of these movies probably don't look as bad as, you know, the movies that we brought up in the last list, I think we had other reasons why these movies should be, you know, listed as like some of the most horrible movies ever.
I kind of want to
Dragon Evolution.
like of a different genre, maybe.
Oh,
What's that?
I kind of feel like I want to do another one of these, but of a different genre. Like
we can.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is like most overrated Oscar winners.
Ooh, that's a good one. The Dark Knight. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, Dark Knight was one of those movies that should have been nominated, but didn't. And in fact, it was because of the Dark Knight they changed the rules from 5 Best Pictures to 10-ish. Because, you know,
everyone gets a chance.
Yeah, they wanted everyone to get the chance, but then they hadn't really been doing a good job with that either. Like, it wasn't until Black Panther came out that was like one of the first like comic book movies that got, you know, a Best Picture nomination.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
And then it lost to Green Book.
Oh, that's right. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, me gotta exit out of the screen and go back to the stream link. Oh, there's you guys. I haven't the whole time. Yeah, I mean that was fun, guys.
It was.
I before I guess we close this out, I would ask if you can go through your list, which one would you watch one more time? If someone was like, you have to watch one from your list again, which one would you watch?
Probably The House of the Dead because I remember the less of it.
Yeah.
Expendables for me.
Yeah. It was a good movie. I think for me, it would be Iron Man 3.
Good man.
Yeah.
That's a safe bet. That's a safe bet because
just this summer I'm watching Iron Man 3. Don't think about watching Iron Man. Think that you're watching a Lethal Weapons movie.
Lethal Weapon 2.
Devil
Community, Christmas theme, buddy cop, all of it.
Buddy cop.
Black and a white character that are both male.
Yeah, true. And you know, and showcasing like, you know, Rhodey more. Like,
yeah, Anna was on the docks. It even ended at the docks. I was like, wait a minute, this is really Lethal Weapon 2 formula.
Yeah, it's really.
They weren't really in the suits a lot. I was like, okay, is it just me? We should do. We should play them side by side on the same screen.
Iron Man 3
That's what we should do. We
That'd
can't legally do that, but we can show clips, right?
Too bad we don't have someone equivalent to like Joe Pesci.
That would make it perfect. Perfect.
Hey, get in the suit. Get in.
Can I have a suit? I want a suit.
Yeah. Joe Pesci just asking that, and it's...
hey, you know, retrieve my helmet. I want to get the stupid helmet. You're a funny guy. What do you mean? Who you calling funny?
Funny how?
Funny how? Do I amuse you? And then Robert Downey Jr. says, yes, you do. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I have a suit. You're Joe Pesci.
All right, guys. Well, this thing ran a little bit longer than I thought. About an hour and 50 minutes, but it's fine. We'll still upload. I'll we'll do it. But I'm going to go ahead and close it out here.
Cool.
Thank Albie, a fun guy Broja, and myself for joining us. Remember, guys, do what the bottom says. Remember, hit that like button and subscribe.
Please.